Good afternoon, New Brunswick, and welcome to the New Brunswick Today show for today, Tuesday, January 24th. I'm your host, Charlie Cradaville. It is 1:29 right now. On today's show, we've got a few of the top 10 New Brunswick Today hard-hitting journalism videos for you. It is 36 degrees and cloudy, coming down a little bit on and off right now. Expect some more steady light rain during this afternoon, though definitely not as bad as yesterday's storm. The high today will be 39 degrees and the low tonight will be 33. But before we go any further, we're having a party, and you, yes you, are invited to join us. It's on Saturday. It's for a very special occasion, New Brunswick Today's 5th anniversary. The fun starts at 6:30 p.m. this Saturday, January 28th. It's at the Dillinger Room, a great bar and restaurant at 338 George Street here in New Brunswick. You won't want to miss this chance to meet all of the people on our team who make this show possible, make this newspaper possible, and to share this special moment with us. It's just $10 for New Brunswick Today members to attend, so please join our organization today as a sustaining member. Just go to members.newbrunswicktoday.com and sign up. Now, in honor of this 5th anniversary, we put together a little bit of a highlight reel of our top 10 hardest-hitting local journalism videos. You can check out the full list at newbrunswicktoday.com. Check that out after the show. We'll actually have some of these members. Number 9, this is me confronting Middlesex County's top law enforcement official, Andrew Carey. He was Chris Christie's choice to be the Middlesex County prosecutor, and Carey's had a somewhat controversial tenure here. His office has also had a very tenuous relationship with New Brunswick Today. In February of last year, all of our reporters were removed from the prosecutor's office press list. It was the second time that they had pulled such a stunt, and, well, we started digging into Mr. Carey, and we caught Carey not fully complying with the state's local government ethics law because he hadn't disclosed the name of the politically connected law firm where his wife has been working in any of those forms that he's required to file. So we tried to get a comment from his office on that story, to no avail. We still wrote the article, of course, and then when we saw him walking down College Avenue towards his illegally parked vehicle on June 19th of last year, we thought we would ask him a few questions. Here is how that went.
Pardon me, Mr. Prosecutor. Hello, how are you?
What?
I wanted to ask if you had any response to our article about your financial disclosure forms.
I'm not saying anything. So call Jim O'Neill.
Okay, I did reach out to Jim. He didn't get back to me. So you think you're in compliance with the local government ethics law?
No comment.
Okay. That's your car over there. Do you always park illegally around Middlesex County or only here in New Brunswick? Do you have any update on the killing of Diallo Grant? Mr. Prosecutor, is there any update? Do you have anything to say for yourself?
I don't like that one.
Have a good day, sir. Middlesex County Prosecutor Andrew Carey does not want to talk about his financial disclosure form. You can read more about it right here in New Brunswick Today. He's hiding his wife's role at a politically connected law firm from the public by not including that on his financial disclosure forms. There he is, driving away right over the curb. Farewell, Mr. Prosecutor. We'll see you next time.
And welcome back. Please, if you haven't already done so, take a moment to share this video with your friends on Facebook. Just do it right now. Just click share, because we've got a few more videos from that top 10 list coming up, including the most popular, most watched video we've ever recorded at New Brunswick Today. So please stay tuned and share this video, this live streaming video, with your friends right now. And now there is a lot more to New Brunswick Today, of course, than what's in those 10 videos of me mostly chasing down politicians and other powerful people. You can stay tuned to our website and our social media channels for some great local stories coming up soon. So for instance, our intrepid business reporter Dave Schatz has been working on a great story that'll be up later today about New Brunswick's newest supermarket changing its name yet again. Key Food Marketplace, or Key Foods as it's known to locals, is now Super Fresh, at least according to the big signs that went up last week on the side of that building here in downtown. Now, Super Fresh is a brand name that Key Food actually bought from A&P, the famous grocer that went bankrupt recently, and Key Food also picked up a number of stores from that chain, and now they're changing all of their New Jersey stores to be Super Fresh. Now, if you go to the New Brunswick Today website right now, you'll see another interesting story. Carlos Ramirez and I worked on this one about a Helmeta firefighter who was arrested and charged with possessing and distributing child pornography earlier this month. Other outlets reported on this story, but New Brunswick Today was the only paper that figured out that Daniel Leal was indeed a volunteer firefighter with Middlesex County's tiniest town. On that NewBrunswickToday.com website, you can also read Danielle Bruno's excellent article about the enormous backlog of unpaid bills that Rutgers officials spent their winter break catching up on. It was actually more than 12,000 bills in total, and the university blamed the problems on glitches that came as a result of their switch to a new financial accounting software called Cornerstone. And also on that New Brunswick Today website, you can see Vanisha Patel has the story on the 21st Century Cures Act, one of the last laws to be signed ever by President Barack Obama. That law will provide some funding for the Rutgers Cancer Institute of New Jersey right here in New Brunswick, as well as $1 billion nationally to fight the opioid epidemic. About $26 million of that billion is going to make its way here to New Jersey, and one of the biggest champions of that law was actually New Brunswick's congressman and friend of the show, Frank Pallone. Now, the largest abandoned building in New Brunswick was located right behind our office. This is the Farron Mall and parking garage. It's still undergoing demolition, and boy, is it coming down. Let's take a quick look. This is the demolition from earlier today. Jason Liebman got this footage for us. Of course, this monstrous parking deck is not the only abandoned building in the hub city. In fact, it's not even the only abandoned parking deck. There's another one just a few blocks away. And many cities these days, especially in New Jersey, are trying to address the problems that abandoned buildings pose. And on the front page of today's Home News Tribune, actually, take a look at this. This is today's copy of the Home News Tribune. Nikita Biryukov has a very interesting story about New Brunswick's relatively new abandoned properties ordinance. Now, almost 11 months after New Brunswick passed that ordinance to combat the large number of vacant homes in the city, no part of the ordinance has been enforced, reports Biryukov. The ordinance passed back in February 2016, and the city touted it with a press release that claimed they were, quote, in the process of compiling the first list of properties that would be affected by this new ordinance. Biryukov apparently tried to get a copy of that list under the Open Public Records Act, but Assistant City Attorney Joe Catanese told him that no such list existed. One thing led to another, and Jennifer Bradshaw, a spokesperson for the Office of Mayor James Cahill, told the Home News the following, quote, "We're still in the process of setting up a model for the ordinance to operate under, as well as staff a position to oversee it. So at this time, there isn't a staff person to compile a list, nor one to provide updates on it," end quote. And that was in today's Home News Tribune. So check out that story. Great work to Nikita, one of the most talented journalists around. Now, yesterday's nor'easter storm slammed the East Coast, bringing snow, sleet, rain, and heavy winds all across the Garden State. There was as much as 2.9 inches of snow, even in places like Highland Lakes. More prominent, though, around here were the heavy rains. The weather actually caused major delays on NJ transit lines, including the Northeast Corridor, and it forced the suspension of the Newark Airport's air train service. Now, towns on the Jersey Shore were especially affected by the storm yesterday. This is footage from Forked River, New Jersey, in Ocean County. And not too far away from there in Seabright, portions of Ocean Avenue were also flooded, as well as down at the Manasquan Inlet. Seabright is actually the focus of a new documentary about climate change called Bad Tidings. And the filmmaker Dan Natal talked to a lot of people in Seabright. He believes that Seabright is going to be underwater within the next 50 years due to climate change. Now, Natal is a Rutgers graduate in the Environmental Policy and Digital Filmmaking program. He's the filmmaker. The film's produced by Louis Cabrera and Dina Seidel, and the film is going to be screened right here in New Brunswick at the New Jersey Film Festival on February 12th. That's on the campus of Rutgers. You can find out more at njfilmfest.com. Now, stay tuned. We've got a report for you on the early days of the Trump administration, and also some follow-up on our last segment about our new president. Now, first, let's take a quick break to look at one of those videos. This is actually the #1 video in our top 10 list. This is me turning up the heat on New Brunswick's mayor, James Cahill, during the summer of 2014. That was the summer where he made himself the water director and signed a secret privatization deal with New Jersey American Water. We exposed that deal, and if you remember, it was actually due to expire after 45 days, so we tracked down the mayor on day number 45 and asked him what was going to happen to New Brunswick's embattled water utility. Here's how that conversation went.
Hey, Mr. Mayor.
Hey,
Great to see you. Just a quick question. I got to ask. It's been 45 days since you privatized the water. What's happening with the water? It's been 45 days since you signed the deal.
The water?
Yeah, the water deal with American Water. Is there going to be a new deal on the agenda tonight?
Charles.
Mr. Mayor.
What?
It's been 45 days. We were promised that there would be a vote on the longer-term deal.
You weren't promised that. You weren't promised that.
So
be accurate with your questions.
So have you signed another deal?
Learn to be accurate with your questions, and when you are truthful in your reporting, then you will get long time and honest answers as best we can possibly give them.
Have you signed another deal? Have you renewed the deal with American Water?
When you learn to ask accurate questions, you will get responses.
Who can tell us if there's been a new deal signed? Did you sign a new deal, Mr. Mayor?
Did you not understand what I just said? When you learn to ask accurate questions, you will get responses.
That's a fair question, Mr. Mayor. Is there a new deal signed with American Water?
Memories. Now, welcome back to the New Brunswick Today Show. As we told you on Friday, we are stepping up our coverage of the federal government. Today is day 5, the 5th day of the Trump administration, and Trump has already taken a number of actions in his official capacity as president. He actually just signed executive orders attempting to promote the Keystone XL and Dakota Access pipelines that were so controversial during President Obama's administration. Now, in his first 5 days in office, Trump also implemented a hiring freeze for most federal agencies. Yes, that's right. while Trump promised an increase in jobs across America if elected, it looks like one of his first moves will be to freeze most government hiring. However, Trump confirmed that the hiring freeze will exclude some major sectors of the government, such as national security, public safety, and the military. In a New York Times article, the president of the American Federation of Government Employees, Mr. J. David Cox, Sr., expressed that the hiring freeze will result in, quote, longer lines at Social Security offices, fewer workplace safety inspections, and less oversight of environmental polluters, and a greater risk to our nation's food supply and clean water systems. Now, what does that mean for, say, the sketchy water department here in New Brunswick? Only time will tell. Trump also signed a memorandum in an effort to end the United States participation in the controversial Trans-Pacific Partnership, also known as TTP. That's a trade agreement between 12 countries, one that was intended to strengthen economic ties between those countries, who are said to represent approximately 40% of the world's economy. Now, many people, including a lot of Democrats, were against this deal because they feel in some ways it will make powerful multinational corporations more powerful than the government in some ways. And there was great concern over the impact this partnership could have on environmental policies and workers' rights in the countries that signed it. So, and lastly, Trump also took aim at abortion rights when he signed an executive order that's expected to bring back a controversial federal policy known as the Mexico City policy. That policy would require the federal government to stop funding to any foreign non-governmental organizations to, quote, perform or promote abortions in other countries. Not only will it keep women from receiving abortions, but this policy is a way for the U.S. government to control the priorities of these non-governmental organizations, even when they're working outside of the U.S. This policy is ultimately a way to make it harder for women in foreign countries to get abortions. And while those who are anti-abortion are eager to see policies like this in place, those who are pro-choice see this as nothing more than a way to suppress the rights of women across the globe. Now remember, we're only in day 5 here, and even though the administration is just a few days old, that hasn't stopped massive demonstrations in almost every major city from drawing thousands and thousands of people together in opposition to the president. This footage is from New York City's Women's March against Trump. That was over the weekend. It was an unprecedented turnout to see a turnout of this size. These protests coming so quickly after the inauguration. That has not happened in my lifetime. And we will see what comes of it. But it's not just these protesters that are marching in the streets targeting Trump. He's also under fire from other sources for his questionable ethics. So he's already the first president in decades not to release his own tax returns. Those tax returns would show things to the public, like where he's been getting his money, who he owes money to, and what investments he's made. Also, for the first time in a long time, his nominees for many key government positions did not submit their ethics forms prior to confirmation hearings. That often is a source of questions for those nominees, and that just wasn't possible because they didn't fill out their ethics forms in time. Now, Trump is also involving his own family members in his administration in a way that no president has ever done in a long time. He's also not completely divested himself from his business interests, but we'll get to that in a second. First, we told you on last week's show that Trump has some really shady ties to New Jersey, in particular Chris Christie, our governor. Well, there's one big shady connection that we left out of that report. This man is Bill Stepien. He's nicknamed Smoke because he's good at disappearing. And disappear he did back in 2014 as the Bridgegate scandal unfolded. That scandal took down 3 of Christie's appointees and led to a criminal charge against Christie himself. Now, the increased scrutiny also took down David Sampson, Christie's best friend and closest confidant, but Stepien was never charged, though he was famously fired by Christie or more accurately, told to withdraw his name from contention for a key spot that he was widely expected to be given by Christie. So Stepien and Christie had a falling out after that. Stepien ended up being the only Christie crony to actually make his way into the Trump White House. Very interesting. Stepien was named Trump's political director recently. Yes, that's right, Stepien, the same guy who was clearly abusing his government job to help further Governor Christie's political ambitions. The same guy who Christie canned for using callous and indifferent language. That's Christie's quote about the Bridgegate scandal. He is now one of the top aides working in the Trump administration. So that's the latest on Trump's New Jersey connections. But as promised, here's what's going on with Trump's questionable ethics. So there's a group in Washington, D.C. called Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics, and they go by the acronym CREW, and they have brought a federal lawsuit to stop Trump from violating the Constitution by illegally receiving payments from foreign governments. According to CREW, the Foreign Emoluments Clause of the U.S. Constitution prohibits Trump from receiving anything of value from foreign governments, including foreign government-owned businesses, without the approval of Congress. So CREW contends that because Trump refused to divest from his own businesses, and he is now getting cash and favors from foreign governments through guests and staying at hotels and events being held at hotels, leases in his buildings, and other valuable real estate deals outside the U.S., so we'll keep you posted on that case and all the rest of the chaos going on in Washington, D.C. as we proceed at the New Brunswick Today show. But before we part ways today, I want to make one more invitation to you. This is a special event. We really want as many folks to come out and support us as possible. Come this Saturday to the Dillinger Room, meet the team behind New Brunswick Today, and show your support for community news. We are, of course, the only bilingual community newspaper, and we cannot do it without support from our readers. So please become a member today at members.newbrunswicktoday.com and join us at this very exciting event on Saturday at the Dillinger Room. Starts at 6:30. More info on our Facebook page. Now, the moment you've been waiting for. This is the video that has received more views, more eyeballs than probably any other video that we have produced, created, recorded, documented. This is from back in 2013. This was a, I guess you could call it a block party. It was on Delafield Street in New Brunswick, and it was an out-of-control, wild block party that ended up having 5 different police agencies come in and crack down. We got the whole thing on video. This video was on all the major television stations. It was also viewed 500,000 times on YouTube, 500,000 times on another website, World Star Hip Hop, and this is the video. It needs no introduction. Thanks for joining us. Please share this video. Please come see us Saturday, and thanks for your time today. God bless New Brunswick. All right, let's watch this video. Great job today. That was really excellent work. Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna put all my...
Oh, yeah, that stuff's in here. pull up to the corner and give that that order. Go forward to New Brunswick, be advised, we got about 300 people out here throwing bottles, lighting fires in the street as reported. We're going to attempt to disperse them. 2024, nice and slow. Alright, move it up to the corner. On the police department,
Don't come down the street. Guys, back to the corner, back to the corner, back to the corner. You're listening to me, right?
Please don't push me, officer.
Here we are, Rutgers. We do it alive.
Please, get inside.
I don't live here. I can't go
Pick a
there.
house. I don't care. Go down the back alleys. Get out.
I can't go inside somebody else's house. I'm sorry.
Okay, go.
I am. No, I'm not going in somebody else's house. That would be crazy.
You're gonna make sure it's not gonna
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got the spray out. Yeah. Okay. I don't want any trouble. Keep going.
And Sam's like, yo, stop. He's like, he was too fast. He's got to run out.
You gotta run out.
We told your people 3 times now. Get moving. The streets is closed.
Why?
Or you're getting locked up.
Why?
Because we're closing the streets. You don't ask questions. Just follow the commands. Get where you're going.
Is that really?
Or you're getting sprayed and locked up.
Yeah, I am. We're with the press. We write for a newspaper. We don't want any trouble. Right here. Yeah, we have a business card. We came right over.
Need to go. No
We didn't
around.
have time to grab our press pass. Okay, but this is our business card, and we don't want any trouble. We're just here to document, and we're trying to stay out of your way. Okay.
We're not here to stay.
We don't, yeah.
Where's your IDs?
You need to get
Why don't you have lanyard? And you should have, in the future,
yes.
you have press IDs.
We will.
Press lanyards. Okay, and you're supposed to be identified wherever you are.
We will. I'm sorry.
This business card, you could have picked them off the street.